Welcome to another Nostalgia Bites. This is episode 5, where we taste test some of our favourite foods from over the decades, going back to our childhood memories. And I've got a cracker for you today, one that may have lived in your lunchbox as a kid. Maybe your parents sent you to school with this inside your sandwich pack, ready for your lunchtime treat. Let me share with you today's food product and see if it sparks any memories for you.
Hey, champ, what's the first thing you want after tasting a world title, huh?
A beef sandwich made with Prince's real beef spread.
What? A beef sandwich made with Prince's real beef spread?
Yeah, that taste torments me.
Prince's beef spread is real beef. 70% real Prince's beef. That's what gives sandwiches that knockout beefy taste. Prince's beef spread. The taste that torments.
Silly, but I love it.
And I know what you're asking. What is it, John? Well, simply, it is a jar of Prince's beef paste. Now, I would go to school with sandwiches, normally white bread, butter, smothered in this beef paste. And if you were lucky, you might have also had a little bit of pepper and salt on there, or maybe even chili flakes, just to kind of really give it that excitement, right? But inside your lunchbox, you would have a sandwich with this beef paste on it. So I did a little bit of research online, and here's a couple of facts that you might be interested in. It is considered a lunchtime staple in the UK. It's been a lunchbox legend of the 80s and 90s. So if you grew up in that era and went to school, you might be familiar with this. It comes in multiple flavours, although I personally have only ever eaten the beef one. It also comes in chicken. It comes in sardine flavour and also salmon flavour. I think we can all agree they sound horrific. Now, one of the key points around this product is it patty? Is it a mousse? And honestly, the answer is no one knows. And I daren't even question what this actually contains inside it, what makes up the substance of the beef paste. However, my memories serve me that this is delicious. So I'm actually kind of looking forward to this one today. So we're going to toast some bread. We're going to smother it in this. We're going to add maybe a little bit of chili flakes, and then we're going to do the taste test. So let's dive into it. I don't know if this would be considered as cheating, but instead of just using normal fluffy white bread, I'm actually going to have this on toast today. And the reason that I'm holding up 2 jars is that I've got Sainsbury's own brand beef paste, which they had available, but they didn't have the Prince's, so I had to go and find this in another supermarket. But I thought, seeing as I've got both, let's do a comparison taste test, because this is the one that I grew up on. And then when we get the supermarket's own, I think it's worth doing a back-to-back on the 2 of these. So the toast is on. Don't consider that cheating. The toast is on, and then we're going to try these 2 out. Now, just as a little bit of fact for you, I had no idea on this, but the company who started this beef paste, this Prince's, has been in operation since 1880. Yeah, just let that sink in for a minute. 1880, 140 years of operation. And of course, like some of the other foods that we've tested so far, it was immensely popular during the wartime period when access to meat as a whole was very scarce. So these meat pastes were effectively really popular during that wartime period. After the debacle of trying to get open the meat pie last week and you all watching me wrestling with a tin opener, I thought I would just quickly show you how these 2 jars effectively open up. So there is a seal on this one, which I'm just going to break off, and it simply tears around, and then the jar opens, and I will share with you the delights of what's inside. But there you go, that's the beef spread, or beef paste, should I say, from Prince's. And then on the Sainsbury's jar, there's no plastic around it, it's just ready to be opened. So that's the two of them side by side. Sainsbury's, Prince's. Smell. I mean, they both smell beefy. So let's spread them. Two freshly made slices of toast. Now, I'm going to upset some viewers here. I know that. I know what I'm about to say might trigger some people, but I am not going to have any butter on these bread because I'm not a big fan of it. I've never enjoyed things being smothered in butter. I just have a kind of, it's not like a phobia. I just don't really enjoy it. So now that I've shared that with you, this is the Prince's that's got on this slice here. Just to show you the consistency there. Oh, yes. So let's get that spread on. Now the key here is to slather it on. Great word, slather. Right, get it nice and thick on there. So that's Prince's. Now we're going to try in fact, let me get it. Just so that I'm being proper on this, clean the knife off so that there's no cross-contamination from the beef spread from Prince's. Now we've got the Sainsbury's own brand. Now, they look pretty consistent. I wonder if there's much of a way of taste difference between them. That'll be the real taste test. But from a look perspective, they're certainly very, very, very similar. Now, if you eat patty, you will know that that looks pretty similar, right? But not considered as patty. Now, there's one extra little bit of bonus to this. Chili flakes. Just a tiny bit on each for the flavour. Okay, so this is the Prince's. This is the Sainsbury's. Okay, let's get ready to taste test. Here is the Prince's, and we're going to try this first. So a little bit of toast, a little bit of beef spread, paste, no butter. Sorry about that. Let's give it a try. The toast really works with this. I think when it's on bread, it's just a little bit limp and a little bit less exciting. The toast just gives it a bit of a bite to it, the crunch. But the beef paste, I love this. I haven't had this in years. And it's immediately like a flood back to school. It really is. And I know it won't be made of anything good. These things never are. But this is like a late night snack or maybe a Saturday morning breakfast or something. But it's good, I like it. That is Prince's. This one is the Sainsbury's. Let's give it a try in comparison. There's a very slightly different taste. Less beefy. Do you know, it kind of has a very slight hint of like salmon or fish. I mean, I'm sure there's bits of everything in this, right? It's like a hot dog. But if it was all that was available, I would eat it. I would eat the Sainsbury's version. But knowing that I can get Prince's somewhere, I would choose that all day long. It's just slightly more beefy. Okay. the all-important score. Given what it is, what you're consuming, or the lack of knowledge of what you're consuming, I would say that this is a 6 out of 10. That's what I think in terms of, and this is the Princes. The Sainsbury's, I would go with a 5 out of 10, but the Princes itself, 6. It's all there. It's reminding me of school. Yeah. So that's something that I will probably reintroduce eating again because it's very good. I'm enjoying that. As an extra bonus, if you've made it to this far in the video, I appreciate you watching all of this so far. And just as an extra little from me to you, right, as a Glaswegian, as a Scottish person living in England, during all of my time in employment, working with colleagues and friends, they would often ask me to say particular words in Scottish because it was funny, right? It's the accent thing. And finding those little moments of humour with colleagues are important. But there was one thing that they always wanted me to say, and I thought today I would just give you kind of like a cheap thrill out of it and see how many of you enjoyed this chocolate bar as a treat. Do you know what this is? And have you had one? And when I saw it today in the shop that I was in, I thought, I've got to get one. Now, to say it, this is a curly wurly. Which needs a Scottish accent to say it, but this is a curly wurly. It's a chocolate bar, which is made up of toffee and chocolate, and I haven't had one of these in a long, long time, but when I saw it today, again, because of the nostalgia to school and having your piece box made up, your piece box or your play box or whatever you called it, if you were lucky enough to get a curly wurly inside it, oof, your parents cared for you. I'll tell you, your parents cared for you. But this is what the chocolate bar looks like. And it definitely looks like it's got smaller than I can remember. I reckon I could probably eat that in a oneer. To kind of break it in half, it's quite soft and chocolate filled. You can see the toffee there. So let's give this a try. Now, you could store this in the fridge to stiffen it up a little bit. All the innuendos in today's video. That is so good. That is a proper treat at the end of this video. If we haven't had a curly wurly in a while, get one. That 7 out of 10 is a bonus. Thank you for watching today's video. This was episode number 5 of Nostalgia Bites. We'll be back in the next one. If you let us know what you would like to test, I will go and see if I can find it. And in the meantime, if you've enjoyed this video and you would like to go down a rabbit hole of my content, YouTube thinks this one here would be your next video to watch. Thanks everyone. Have a great day. I'm going to finish that. It's so good. Yep.